Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, and this is the 11th video of this series. So in this video we are going to talk about what is map, filter and reduce. Okay, so these all three are high order functions. High order functions क्या होते हैं? Which takes another functions as a parameter. Okay, so high order functions वो होते हैं जो कि दूसरे function को as a parameter, as a input लेते हैं. Okay, so let's go ahead and see. So first we will see the syntax of this function. Okay, so syntax क्या होते हैं? So let's talk about map first. Okay, so uh, how map function works. Okay, so it takes a function, okay, and a iterable. Okay, so the iterable में भी anything, list हो सकता है, tuple हो सकता है, set हो सकता है, और simply range function का यूज कर सकते हो. Okay, so we will see in detail when we see the code. So first let's talk about map function. Okay, so map function, what map function does. Map function करता क्या है? Okay, suppose you have a list. Suppose you have a list and there are some numbers 1 2 3 4. Okay, so suppose you have said called map function, and you pass a function like we have to add +2 in all of these, और हमें क्या करना है, हमें हर नंबर के साथ हर नंबर का स्क्वायर निकालना है, इसका स्क्वायर इसका स्क्वायर इसका स्क्वायर. ओके, सो मैनुअली first approach, what we can do, we can use for loop. Okay, so that will be lengthy, LOC ज़्यादा होगा, complex ज़्यादा लगेगा code. So to resolve that solution situation, what we can do, you can simply write a def function, def square something like this, और एक नंबर लेगा जिसका स्क्वायर करना है और वो रिटर्न कर देगा, and it will return n का स्क्वायर. ओके, so what we will do, we have written a function which will return square of any number. now हम इस फंक्शन को कॉल कर देंगे मैप में. ओके, इस फंक्शन को सिंपली इस मैप के अंदर कॉल करना है, स्क्वायर फंक्शन को, और जो भी लिस्ट है उसको पास कर देना है. सो वी विल पास दिस एंड वी विल पास द नेम ऑफ द लिस्ट इन दिस फंक्शन. ओके, सो how we can say, just pass this. Okay, sorry, there is some issue with my board. Okay, it's not working properly, so okay, let's go ahead and see this code. Sorry, my whiteboard is not working properly, it said there is some issue. So let me create a folder here, part 11. Okay, and is part 11. I will make a file, map.py, map filter reduce.py. okay, now suppose I am having a list, my list equal to 1 2 3 4 5. okay, now what we want to achieve, हमें करना क्या है, I want to print square of every element, square of every element. Okay, so first approach, what we can do, we can write like for. So first write like this. Okay, using for. Okay, for का यूज करके, for say number in my list. print number mode 2. Okay, now what this will return, let's go ahead and run this file. So as you can see, it's returning me the square of every number. Okay, suppose you want to achieve same thing using map function. Okay, so what we can do using map. Okay, so let's go ahead and write a function def square, or it will take a number. Okay, and it will return the square of the number. So we'll simply write number into 2. Okay, now we will call map function. Okay, so suppose we can write something like this, print, we'll call the map function. Okay, so let's go ahead and call map function. Okay, list, because we want output as a list, and then map. Now as I told you, map function takes 2 parameters. Okay, so map function 2 parameters लेते हैं. First is the list, the name of the function, name of function, or function, you can directly fire lambda function. Okay, comma, name of iterable, name of iterable. तो it may be anything, ये list हो सकता है, ये tuple हो सकता है, set हो सकता है. Okay, so what we can do now, we can simply pass here the name of the function sq. Okay, sq, and then we can pass the name of the list which we are having. So my name of the list is my list. Okay, now go ahead and let me comment this part. Okay, I don't want this in output. Okay, now let's go ahead and run this. As you can see, it have done the same thing. Okay, it have printed the square of the number, but this time we have used map function. Okay, we don't have to loop through each element. Okay, suppose you have a bigger list, in that case your code complexity will be higher, the compilation time, the compilation or the execution time will increase using for loop. So इससे कोड की कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी बढ़ जाएगी, LOC नंबर बढ़ जाएंगे. So this is a simple function which we have taken in an example. Suppose we are only calculating the square. Suppose you want to do some complex operation. Okay, in this case map can help you a lot. Okay, so this is an example of map function. Another example which we may consider is like something you will like. Okay, now use lambda in this. So you don't need even this function to square these numbers. You can just use lambda. So what I will do, I will write here lambda, and as you know, lambda we pass the number of parameters here. So suppose x is here, so I will pass x. Okay, the parameters here, and then after semicolon we pass the operation which you want to do, the output. Okay, so the output is in this case is x into 2. Okay, and now the name of the list, it will give the same output as you can see. Now our code became more shorter. So पहले when we were doing this for, ये 2 लाइन ले रहा था, और सपोज ऑपरेशंस ज़्यादा होंगे तो it will take like 3 or 4 lines. But when you use the combination of map and lambda, we did this in 1 line only. So in 1 line you have printed the square of every number. Okay, you don't need any loop or anything. Okay, hope you understand the map function. So map function is used to apply a function on each element on any iterable, whether it's a list, tuple, set. Okay, now let's talk about filter. Okay, so filter function क्या करता है? Same as map, filter function what will do, it will filter the element. Suppose इस case में we want to, let me list. Okay, we want to print divisible of 3 or 2, anything. So let's say divisible of 2. Okay, so first approach, again, what we can use, you can use for loop and check whether the number is divisible by 2 or not, and then you can print those elements. But we can achieve the same thing using filter keyword. So how we can write this function? We will simply write like say like something print, because I want to print the output, list because I want the output in the list. Okay, now I will use filter. So filter will take the function which will return true or false. So let's write a function which will return true or false using lambda. So I will say lambda x. Okay, I will say true if x mod 2 equals 0, else false. Okay, comma the name of my list. Okay, so the my list is list. Okay, now when I go ahead and run this function, so as you can see ये क्या रिटर्न कर रहा है, द डिविजिबल ऑफ 2. वाई हो क्या रहा है यहाँ पे, we have called lambda, we have called x, then we are saying true if x mod 2, else false, and then we are passing my list. तो ये क्या करेगा, my list का एक एक एलिमेंट उठाएगा, चेक करेगा whether it's divisible by 2 completely, अगर हाँ तो it will return true, if not then it will return false, और अगर रिजल्ट ट्रू होगा तो वो इस लिस्ट को, उस एलिमेंट को एक नए लिस्ट में अपेंड कर दे रहा है. ओके, और देन वी आर प्रिंटिंग दैट लिस्ट डायरेक्टली. सो इंस्टेड ऑफ डायरेक्टली प्रिंटिंग यू कैन स्टोर दैट इनटू सपोज लिस्ट 2. okay, in this way, and now let's print list 2. okay, this is the same thing. so ये क्या कर रहा है, एक एलिमेंट उठाया, सपोज 1 उठाया, देन चेक किया 1 इज कम्प्लीटली डिविजिबल बाई 2 और नॉट, नो, तो वो इस लिस्ट में 1 को ऐड नहीं करेगा. फिर इट विल मूव टू नेक्स्ट एलिमेंट 2, चेक करेगा 2 कम्प्लीटली डिविजिबल बाई 2, यस, तो वो उसको नई लिस्ट में ऐड कर देगा. फिर वो 3 के पास जाएगा. अगेन ये सारा इट विल डू टिल द लास्ट एलिमेंट ऑफ लिस्ट. ओके, सपोज यहाँ पे 100 एलिमेंट है और 1000 एलिमेंट है, तो सारे एलिमेंट्स के साथ वो सेम चीज़ करेगा. अगर ये फंक्शन ट्रू रिटर्न करेगा, देन ओनली इट विल ऐड दैट एलिमेंट टू द सेकेंड लिस्ट. सो व्हेन वी यूज फिल्टर एंड व्हेन वी यूज मैप, we use map when we want to apply a function to each element. okay, suppose स्क्वायर करना है या डिविजिबल बाई, सपोज स्क्वायर करना है, पावर पता करना है, या you want to add something to that number, anything. filter what will do, it will filter that element according to the boolean value of the function. so ये true रिटर्न कर रहा है एंड false रिटर्न कर रहा है, इसके अकॉर्डिंग वो फिल्टर कर रहा है. सपोज आप you want to get divisible of 3, 4 or something like this, any operation which you want to. okay, suppose you want to check whether this number is even or not, that in that case also you can use filter function. okay, now we talked about map, we talked about filter, let's talk about reduce. okay, so reduce, what will reduce do? So first of all, to use reduce, so reduce functools नाम के एक मॉड्यूल में होता है. reduce is in functool module, so we have to import that externally. so we will write from functools import reduce. this I have already importing a module I have already covered in my previous video. so if you don't know what is a module, how to write a module or how to import a module, please go ahead and refer that video. okay, so now we will make use of reduce function. so reduce function क्या करेगा, it will apply the operation with each element of the list and it will return a single value. Okay, reduce will always return a single value by applying the functions with each element. Suppose if you want to add all these element, so what it will do, it will add 1 plus 2 plus 3. Let's go ahead and do this. Okay, add all elements using reduce. Okay, so what we will do, we will simply write reduce. Okay, then lambda लिखते हैं, lambda, or we will pass two parameters because we want to add both. So we will say x comma y and we will apply the operation. Suppose x plus y. Okay, दो नंबर लिए, दोनों को ऐड किया और रिटर्न किया, and then I will pass the name of my list, that is my list. Okay, now when store it in a variable, say a. Okay, now when you print this a, let's see the output. So as you see, output is 36. How? So let's go ahead and add these elements. 2 plus 1 3, 3 plus 2 5, 5 plus 4 9, 9 plus 5 14, 14 plus 6 20, 20 plus 7 27, and 27 plus 8 36. Yeah, 27 plus 8. Did we did some mistake? No, 27 plus 8 36. Okay, so how this code is working, it's taking first ये क्या करेगा, x में it will pass 1 and y में it will pass 2 and then it will add both. Okay, and then x में it will keep the addition and y में second element and it will keep doing this till the last. So how it will work, सारे एलिमेंट्स पे वो फंक्शन करेगा और उसको रिड्यूस करता जाएगा और लास्ट में एक सिंगल वैल्यू इट विल रिटर्न टू अस. Okay, now suppose we want to get the maximum number. Okay, we know that we have already invoked function max that will return the maximum function, but to demonstrate the use of reduce, what I will do, I will use the make use of reduce function to find the maximum number in a list. So how can we achieve that? I will say simply say here x, if x greater than y, else y. Okay, so क्या करेगा, दो नंबर लिस्ट से उठाएगा, इट विल चेक वेदर इट्स ग्रेटर, अगर हाँ ग्रेटर है देन इट विल कंपेयर विद द अदर एलिमेंट और जो सबसे मैक्सिमम नंबर होगा दैट इट विल assign to the this variable a. Okay, and when we will print a, in this case our output should be 8. Let's go ahead and run. As you can see, the output is 8. Okay, so hope you understood the use of map, filter and reduce. If you have any doubt, just let me know. Okay, so just let's revise. Map, filter, apply function to each element of iterable. Okay, ये हाई ऑर्डर फंक्शंस है, ये तीनों हायर ऑर्डर फंक्शंस है. हाई ऑर्डर फंक्शन किसे कहते हैं, जो दूसरे फंक्शंस को कहते हैं पैरामीटरली. ओके, इसमें वी हैव सीन द एग्जांपल लाइक मेक or find square of every number. Okay, we did using map. Let me write the function also. So what we did, we pass map, then we passed lambda. Okay, x comma x into 2 comma name of the list. So my list. Okay, same what filter does, it filters the value according to boolean value of the function of the given function, let's say of the given function. So what sorry for spelling mistake. So what it will do, filter क्या करेगा, जो फंक्शन हम लोगों ने पैरामीटर में पास किया है वो अगर ट्रू रिटर्न करेगा देन ओनली इट विल टेक दैट एलिमेंट, नहीं तो वो उस एलिमेंट को डिस्कार्ड कर देगा. सो सपोज इफ वी से लिस्ट 2, एग्जाम्पल में वी कैन टेक divisible by 3. Okay, so suppose what we can write like list 2 equal to list, because we want a list, then we will call filter, and then filter में what we'll do, we'll say lambda, okay, and x. okay, ट्रू कब रिटर्न करना है, जब वो 3 से टोटली डिविजिबल हो. ओके, सो विल से ट्रू इफ x mod 3 equals 0, else we want to pass false, we want to return false. Okay, now the name of the list, so I will say my list. now okay, क्या करेगा, ईच एलिमेंट को पास करेगा, चेक करेगा 3 से टोटली डिविजिबल है, अगर है तो ट्रू करेगा, ट्रू रिटर्न करेगा. इफ ट्रू इज रिटर्न देन ओनली फिल्टर विल ऐड दिस एलिमेंट टू लिस्ट 2, otherwise it will discard that element. Okay, now reduce, as I told, reduce will return single value after applying the function to each element of iterable. इटरेबल किसको कहते हैं, जिसके थ्रू वी कैन इटरेट, लाइक लिस्ट, टपल, ओके, एनीथिंग, सेट. ओके, नाउ एग्जाम्पल में वी कैन टेक सम ऑफ एलिमेंट्स ऑफ लिस्ट. ओके, सम ऑफ एलिमेंट ऑफ लिस्ट करने के लिए क्या व्हाट वी कैन डू, वी कैन से सम इक्वल टू, okay, as I told you, you have to import sum. So what we can do, you can say from func tools import reduce. okay, then what you can say, reduce को कॉल करेंगे and then we will pass the function which we want to do. okay, so suppose you want to make the sum. okay, so you can say lambda x comma y, दो वैल्यू पास करेंगे बिकॉज वी वांट द एडिशन, एंड विल सिंपली रिटर्न x प्लस y. ओके, दोनों का सम रिटर्न करेंगे एंड देन नेम ऑफ द लिस्ट. ओके, माई लिस्ट. ओके, सो these are the 3 most important keywords which are always asked in the interviews. So when you will go for the interview, the interviewer will ask, tell me the difference between map, filter and reduce. So you can simply give these examples with the definitions and that will be okay. Okay, thank you for watching this video. Bye bye.